first place finish. We've got the CRA Sprintcars. Leland McSpadden comes into this race with number 1 in points, followed by Brad Knopfsinger.
In 6th is Ron Shuman and Richard Griffen.
And we're getting ready for the first heat. Adam Mitchell's in row 1, Billy Boat, number 2. Alongside him, Richard Griffen and Mike Sweeney in the 2nd row. Ron the Shoe Shuman in the 3rd row with Rip Williams. Then Don Tucker and Harlan Willis, followed by Jerry Heat in the 5th row. This is the first heat of the CRA Wingless Sprint Cars. As they hammer the throttles down the main straightaway, the green flag waves, and they are running hard. In turn 1, it is a 1. Oh, he gets a little out of shape. Sprint cars very twitchy on the 1/3 mile oval at Bakersfield Speedway.
I'm telling you, these guys here, when they're putting hammer down, Bob, these guys are actually pulling wheel stands. You can catch, there you go, right there, coming out of turn 4. The wheels are both off the ground, right out of the turn 4.
And the number 4 car, Billy Boat, is out in the lead. Billy Boat with that white machine getting a little out of shape. He's being challenged by another car real close to him. Is also a number 4 car. And they are running tail to nose round the 3rd mile oval at Bakersfield Speedway. 600 to 700 horsepower is what these cars put out. Injected small block Chevy based motors. These cars capable of rounding this track in 12 to 13 seconds. Look at them getting sideways in the turns. Sprint cars don't never drive straight around the corner. They pitch them going into the turns, keep them hung out, and then charge down the straightaways. This is a tight race for the 1 and 2 in this race. Billy Boat leading, but he is getting a lot of challenge there from behind. Boat in the white number 4 car, holding a good tight line, slinging the back end out. They use a stagger in tire size on these cars to keep them going. Billy Boat and Richard Griffen battling, both in 4 cars. Boat in the white, and Boat goes wide. Griffen comes down low to try and get around him. Griffen and Boat headed down the back straightaway. Griffen goes high and around as one of the slower cars causes Boat to just lose concentration. So now Griffen is out in the lead with 1 lap to go. The white flag is coming out. Boat and Griffen tagged. Griffin's able to hold on. No damage to the cars as they come around. The white flag is waving. No, the checkered flag. And we've got a win for Griffen, followed by Boat. All right, CRA Heat 1 final. Richard Griffen taking the win. Billy Boat 2nd. Shuman 3rd. Williams 4th. And Sweeney rounds out the top 5. The top 4 will transfer to the main event. This is the 2nd heat race with Walt Kennedy in the front row, Kim Kraft alongside, Troy Cline right behind him, and Bobby Michnowicz behind them in row 2. Row 3 is Mike English and Gary Howard. Row 4, Scott Burns and Dennis Stewart. As we get ready for heat race number 2. The green flag drops, the BS stops. Uh-oh! We've got calamity on the front row. Looks like we've got a lot of heavily damaged cars. The 72 machine is there. That's Kim Kraft. Let's see what what happens again. Well, I'm not sure who started that one, but lots of cars scattering, spinning sideways. No place to go for some of the cars. Getting ready for this restart in the 2nd heat. And we've got a mishap again.
It's a rollover.
It looks like Kraft getting into this again with Cline. Cline's car is the one that goes over, so the lead cars get into this. There's Troy Cline in the 17 car. His car goes up and over, and as you can see, there doesn't appear to be any visible damage, but Cline is climbing out of his car, and he doesn't look too happy.
Here's a replay. Let's see exactly what happened.
Comes down on the front wheel, so he may have some front suspension damage there. So he initially gives them the green flag to start. As soon as they pass turns 1 and 2, the yellow comes right back out again.
Coming here, the horsepower mounting up. We're getting ready for green, and the green flag is out.
And this is a good start now as they power into turns 1 and 2. New leader again. Coming down the back straightaway. Getting it sideways. Lights are shining bright. Can't see the numbers there as they come by. There we go. Well, the 91 car is Gary Howard. Howard coming up from row 4 has moved his way into the lead. picks the front wheel up. Track surface, no real ruts, but again, it's early in the evening. You can see some of the slick spots out there and some of the spots where they've dug in through the surface of the clay. Gary Howard powering his way around the track. Again, the track setting pace tonight, 12:79 by Shuman. As they round turns 1 and 2, I'll tell you, this driver's doing a heck of a job. He's out there, gosh, about 5-6 lengths coming down the main straightaway. Really unopposed at this point, driving a race all alone. Mike English, currently running in second position in the 63 car, is a good 10 lengths back. And as we see an overall view, almost gets it sideways there.
If you watch real close there, Bob, as these drivers are coming through the corners, there's a thing what they call the cushion, and that cushion is the shiny part of the track, and then what seems to be a little bit rougher portion of the track. And that rougher portion, of course, is where the loose stuff has been dug up and thrown out to the outside of the track. Now that cushion portion is where they get that traction on that right rear tire. If the whole car gets up there, then they have more tendency of pushing to the wall as the white flag drops, coming down for the final lap here of the heat race number 2 for the CRA Sprinters. Number 1 position is the number 91 car of Gary Howard.
And Howard taking the checkered flag in the victory as the flames shoot out of his mufflered exhaust system there. So the winner in heat race number 2, Gary Howard, followed by English, Burns, Stewart, and Michnowicz. That is the conclusion of CRA heat race number 2. Number 3 is on the track right now. Jeff Dullman and Frankie Baldozier in the front row. Steve Ostling and Mike Kirby in the second row. And Kirby runs, he runs with you, doesn't he?
That's right.
Scott Sloan and Verne Sweeney in row 3. Bobby Davis and Joe Smith in row 4. And they're getting ready to go now.
So that makes 8 cars in this heat race.
That's going to be a full heat if they can keep it going. Coming around, green flag waves. Whoa, look at the whole shot lead pulled out. Cars rounding 1 and 2 all right. Getting a little crossed up coming out of turn 2. Your leader is the number 3 machine. And number 3 is Jeff Dullman. Dullman, starting from the front row, has been able to stay out there. And,
oh my gosh.
And his motor just let go. We've got a little bit of an oil fire there on the headers. He shuts it off. And
yeah, he's parked it right up there between turn 3 and 4. There's your safety crew right now. I mean, they just jump right out there. Looks like the driver is all right. But like you said, Bob, I think he has lost his engine and probably most likely will be out for the night. There's the green flag.
All right, they watch it. They hammer the throttle. There's a pylon at the exit of turn 4. They can't pass until that point. And after that, it's everyone's.
Oh, we've got wheel stands again coming out of turn 2. This is racing at its best. Wheel stands coming out of turn 4. 2 abreast.
And they've got all the traction they need. The clay surface at Bakersfield is holding up quite well as they head down the back straightaway. The 74 car is still out in the lead, and that's Frank Baldozier. He's holding on to the lead. He's gotten some serious challenges there in the back. He's got 3 cars waiting for him to make a mistake. Headed down the back straightaway. It appears the number 5 car of Steve Ostling is right there. Ostling tapping him on the back. He wants him to know he's there. Ostling comes into this race 11th in points, but he's driving like he's number 1. Holding on. Frank starts to pull away just a little bit down the back straightaway, but Ostling is there coming out of 4. Ostling and Frank trying to keep it going. Ostling goes down low.
Mike Kirby right there running in 3rd place. There he goes. Mike Kirby's looking for a hole shot to come underneath, and he doesn't quite make it. Does he have it? I'm telling you, these guys are charging.
Well, he got the back end out too much, lost traction, but look at the battle between Ostling and Frank, and Ostling is now in the lead. Ostling has pulled out the lead. He picks the front wheels up just momentarily and powers down the straightaway into the lead. Now it looks like Kirby, your friend from the IMCA ranks, is battling with Frank for second position as Ostling just pulls away, making it look easy. Ostling in 11th position overall in points right now. He's running the final race. Again, this is the heat race. They have to qualify for the main. Top 4 in the heat race will transfer to the main event. Rounding the track, the white flag is out. One more lap to go, and Ostling will win the heat race tonight. The 3rd heat race here at Bakersfield Speedway. Getting up there right on the edge of the cushion. Slingshots down, takes the checkered flag. So Ostling runs a fine race. He holds off the charges at the end and pulls away, making his victory lap before he goes into the pits. Lots more CRA action going to be happening here at Bakersfield Speedway.
Notice there that my running mate in the IMCA division, Mike Kirby, did sneak up there in the last corner to take 2nd place.
That's right. Steve Ostling, number 1. Kirby, 2. Baldozier, 3. Verne Sweeney, 4th. And Bobby Davis. The main event cars are on the track, and this is a pretty full field. The ones to watch: Rip Williams, Richard Griffen, Verne Sweeney, Steve Ostling, Ron the Shoe Shuman, Troy Cline, and Bobby Michnowicz. You saw him run strong in his semi-main event win. Troy Cline, a top front runner, been running CRA for many, many years. Ron the Shoe Shuman, boy, he is tough. Leland McSpadden, the points leader's not out tonight, and that's good for these guys. They can make some gains on it. Green flag waves, and they are racing. No incidents on this start. They get a good, clean start. And Bobby is out in front with his Ford already. So Bobby starting up hard and fast. Right behind him is the 4 car. The 4 car driven by Richard Griffen. He was one of the ones to watch. Griffen goes high and wide up in the marbles, but he's able to come back down again and stay there. Up again, high is Griffen. Griffen slingshots down, nearly tags the back end of Bobby's car. Bobby trying to make his car as wide as he can so Griffen can't get around. Griffen going to the high side. Oh!
Into the wall.
Yes, he gets the wall, but hey, tire held it off. We saw him hit the wall, but he's still going strong, so the tire must have absorbed most of that shock.
That was a lucky break, I think. Here's a replay now, Bob. Look at this. Tremendous impact into the wall. Upsets the car, and he still hangs on. There's some fine driving.
It sure is, and he keeps on going strong. He's right there. Robbie in the lead. Griffen going down low this time. He doesn't want to tag the wall. He's going to make Robbie go high.
He says, come on, move over, buddy. I'm coming through.
Well, they're racing hard. Nose to tail. Inches separate them going down the back straightaway into the turn. Robbie slings it sideways first. Griffen trying to come in on the inside this time. He's decided his car's not set up for the high line.
Notice the 2 different styles there, Bob, of driving. One of them's taking what they call the low groove. The other guy's taking the high groove. Trying to find that horsepower and the bite on the ground where, see, that lower groove almost gave him that advantage, but staying high, your RPM stays up when you come off the corner. That's an important issue because your RPM's up and you're going to pull away.
All right, the cars are slowing down. Apparently, we've got a yellow flag being waved. Flag waves. We've got a restart. And they're going. Griffen trying to go in every which direction he can to get around Bobby. Now he goes to the inside.
All right, nice move.
He pulls him just a bit, but I'll tell you something. Bobby is tough. He's got the power to hammer the throttle and maintain traction. He's doing a fine-bit job. Griffen coming out of turn 3 and 4. Watch him this time. He actually had the tires up. So when Bobby gets out of shape, Griffen collects him a bit and then drives on by, and Bobby is shut off. You know, he possibly may have popped out of gear. Let's see if he keeps moving. Right now, Griffen is way out in front. The yellow flag comes on, so Bobby has come to a stop, and that's a tough break for him. He was running so strong in the first laps of this race. Bobby stopped on the front straightaway with his Ford. His helmet's still on. Let's see what happened again. Look at how the car straightens out. He just lost power, or possibly
Exactly right.
It popped out of gear. Let's see if he gets a push start. Griffen collects him. Griffen keeps on going. Bobby trying to get to the high side out of the way.
Yeah, he's definitely stalled there now. He's without power, and he's pulled himself out of the racing groove, as they call it.
All right, well, we're getting ready for CRA Sprintcars to restart.
It's green.
And they hammer the throttles. Griffen out in the lead. But where are some of the front runners? Where's Troy Cline? Where's Shuman? They've got to be back there someplace. He's extending his lead out right now. The 98 car Verne Sweeney is not closing in on him, and neither are any of the other front runners or people we normally expect to be in the front. So Griffen has got his car dialed in better than I guess we think. 47 car out there is Rip Williams. He's trying to close in. Now the slower car is creating a problem. Griffen's got to try and negotiate and thread his way through the slower vehicles. Wish we had a clock on these guys to see what the interval is. But they are running so close. And again, the qualifying time, 12:79. Chances are you won't see a time as quick during racing. Too many cars in the way. Track conditions change. But boy, look at this battle down the straightaway. 3 cars abreast, and we got some contact there.
That's Ron Shuman coming up the back of the pack. Ron Shuman is now starting to make his move.
All right, Griffen's still out in the lead. Again, coming real close to the wall. And you can see the track, and he's up in the marbles. That is not where he wants to be. Hammers the throttle. You see him throw up a rooster tail. He comes back down, but he's right on the ragged edge there, trying to negotiate some of these slower cars. Look at the smoke coming off the tire of the car he just passes. The 74 car smoking its tire. That's Frank Baldozier, who we saw earlier on. He just hammered the throttle and couldn't get any traction. He was smoking the tire. And that's a tough trick to do on clay.
Yeah, and you find what happens is they get too excited. Maybe they'll hammer that gas pedal down and they sit there and spin. And a lot of that smoke you see is moisture is being thrown out of the track.
Well, that's not a good thing to do. The moisture coming out and the track will lose its tackiness. Actually, when this track is wet, it's better than when it's dry because the clay forms the tires and you get better traction. Coming around still out of it. He's having a good run tonight is Griffen in the 4 car. Second place is nowhere to be found back there. Griffen goes down the back straight, a straightaway lead. Smoke coming off the car in front of him. I don't know if that's engine or tire smoke. If it is engine smoke, he'll find the black flag coming out for him, but it, judging by it, it appeared to be tire smoke. Griffen gets around that white machine now. He closes his sights on another machine. Griffen, you see the wheels come up in the air on that Griffen car? Now, the track is not that rough, so he's getting traction and just jerking that car up. Now, I've seen a sprint car pop a wheelie down the length of a straight once, but you've got to have a high condition for that. Griffen smoking his tire a little bit as he goes high again. Boy, I tell you something, he is running on the edge, coming so close to the wall, Mike.
That last car he passed, the number 91 car of Gary Howard. Gary Howard using the Leland McSpadden car in this particular race. Leland not able to appear, but the car is here. As we come into a yellow flag, and we haven't seen exactly what that yellow's for. Let's see if we can find out.
I don't see any cars in trouble as they come around, but there may be, well, I guess we do. It's Frankie. He's having some problems again. We saw him smoking his tires. Maybe it wasn't really smoke. Well, no, he's got it in gear, so they're going to restart him. He probably spun, and he fires right back up. So Frankie Baldozier has some problems down the back straightaway. He gets it refired, and he's running again. All right, Craig Butts, the starter, says one more lap around, you're going to get the green flag. Speed start to come up, RPM start to build, the enthusiasm in the crowd. If we can see them now, that would be waving, and the green flag drops. Griffen in the lead, and right behind him,
47.
Rip Williams coming in on the inside.
And right back, Griffen.
Griffen and Williams getting crossed up is Rip, and he rips a new groove there. Rip Williams really hammers the throttle. Now, Rip is going up high. He's going right to the edge of the cushion, hammering the throttle, and he's pulled away. Definitely has the horsepower to really pull away right now. Griffen fading back just a bit, using up some real estate there. In third position, I believe, is Steve Ostling. Ostling trying to keep up with these two guys, but now Griffen closes in. He's right there. Look at these guys bounce. They found some of the ruts being formed in the track from tonight's racing, and that is going to be an added obstacle.
This is
important.
This is an important note. Look at these two guys. Now, they're taking the same line coming in and out of that track. Now, what I guess that second car there is doing is waiting for the leader to bobble a little bit. There he is, and he looks down to the inside and see exactly what happens. He has an opening there, possibly.
And Griffen slides a little too high this time and lets Rip pull away. Rip Williams on the inside of the track right now. Richard Griffen right behind him, passing one of the slower cars. Look at, he had the wheels all the way cocked. He is hanging it all out, getting it sideways. Look at him. He's got that steering wheel turned as far as it will go, and that is a lot of effort. These cars don't have power steering. You really have to muscle the wheel on these. Look at Griffen as he slides underneath one of the slower cars, losing ground. With 1 lap to go, it looks like Rip Williams, coming from nowhere, has taken over the lead and is going to take the checkered flag in the win tonight. Coming around, here he is, your winner, number 47, Rip Williams, followed by Richard Griffen. What a race.
That was great. I tell you, that was one of the most exciting races we've had here with the CRA Sprinters. Those last 3-4 laps, these guys were hooked up and going to the front.
There's your winner, number 47, Rip Williams. Did a fine job. Boy, he really hammered the throttle those last few laps and got out there. Caught Griffen, got under him, passed him. Griffen could not keep up with the pace that Rip was setting here at Bakersfield Speedway tonight. Well, what'd you think of the racing? Well, never mind. Rip Williams takes the win. Richard Griffen second. Ostling third. Shuman fourth. And Sweeney rounding out the top 5. Well, at Bakersfield Speedway, I'm Bob Beck.
And I'm Mike Mosier. Hope you enjoyed your evening here tonight watching the CRA Sprinters.